Alright, so the purpose of this video is just to kind of show you how to make a composition notebook cover type texture, that kind of marbled looking thing. The reason I'm doing this is I've not been able to find any real good tutorials online, video tutorials anyway. So what I've done is research, taken a few things that I've played around with, and I think I get good results. So I'm gonna show you how I do it. So of course, first thing you're going to want to do is hit File and New. Once you're here, you can click any kind of template you may already have created. Of course, you can go over here and do your different sizes. Not sure what I was doing that had 29 pixels of height, but whatever. The big thing you want to make sure is that your background is white. You can do it with a transparent background, but then you're going to have to add a layer and make that layer white. It's just easier to start off with that. I'm usually doing this for binder inserts, so I'm going to go ahead and do my 8 by 10.5 inch. Go ahead and create. Now, one thing you're going to want to make sure is when you're doing this that your color palette is set to black and white, the default. You may come in and have colors that look like, I don't know, this. So if you've got that and you're not sure how to go back, you can go back and select them each again, or you can just hit D on your keyboard and that'll bring that back. So once you've got your background, go ahead down to the layers palette or window and hit plus. That'll give you a new layer. Once you have that layer, you're going to want to go to filter and render clouds. Now, once you've done that, you're going to want to go to filter, render, and then render difference clouds. And that'll give you that thing there. Now, this step here isn't necessary. To me, I think it fine tunes things, but you don't have to do this layer. You can just go right to the thing I'm going to do after this if you don't feel like doing this. But what you want to do is you're going to go to the levels and just play around with them. Get a thing you might like, get a design you might like. I tend to kind of like something like, this right here. So I'm going to hit OK. Then from here, it's image again, adjustments, and you're going to go to threshold. And now you can kind of see that taking place, that marbling take place. I like to do this in layers so I can just build upon it. You can do something like this and maybe be done right away if you want, but I like to build upon it, so I kind of get something maybe right around here for the first layer. Hit OK. So now you want to get rid of all of this white that's in this, the white from the layer, not from the background. So what you're going to want to do is hit select, hit color range, make sure that your setting is set to 2000 or 200 fuzziness. That way when you select the white here with the eyedropper, it's selecting all of it. Then you hit OK, and you've got all that blinking there, and you just want to hit delete. Now, of course, I've got the background here so it doesn't look like I did anything, but once I hide that, then you're good to go. So I'm going to bring that back here. So then you're going to deselect that. From here, you're basically, you actually hit deselect. So from here, what you're going to want to do is create another layer, and you're basically going to repeat the process. Filter, make sure that your colors are changed, because once you hit select on the select color range, you're going to change that to white and white. So you want to make sure you get that back. So you're going to go to filter, render, clouds, and filter, render, difference clouds. But because I did a second layer, I like to do it again. And the good part is once you've selected difference clouds, it's right there on the top of the filter thing. So you can just select that again. And again, not necessary, but it's what I do. Adjustments, levels, fine tune it a bit. And because we've got this one a little bit whiter, I should say, you're going to have a little different of a view. And, just get it somewhere where you like it. I'm going to choose, I think I like that right there. Hit OK. And again, we're going to go back to image, adjustments, and threshold. And now you can see you don't have quite as much of the white there, or the black there, I should say. A lot more white. So just, play around with this. We're going to do one more layer, so, you've got some more to build on. We're going to go here, I think. Hit OK. And we're going to select color range. Select the white. Make sure you're at 200. Once you got that all selected, hit delete. And now you can see we've got kind of a building upon things here. Now that's a pretty good layer right there. I mean, you could conceivably go with that if you like. But I want to build it up a little more. So I'm going to add another layer. Make sure my colors are back to default. And we're going to go to filter, render clouds. And we're going to then render difference clouds. And of course, since this is the third layer, we're going to do that 3 times. There's 2 and there's 3. And again, not necessary, but I'm going to do the levels. We're going to move that around in a way that looks cool. I think I like... Yeah, we'll go with that. And then image adjustments. Threshold yet again. We had a lot of black in there before, so let's settle on right here. Of course, if we don't like the way it looks, we can always just redo it. I mean, that's the beauty of Photoshop. It's digital. You can just delete it. So again, we're going to select the color range, selecting the white, hitting OK, and deleting. So here's the product I have now, and that looks pretty good. And from here, you can always do whatever kind of editing you want to do. You can, choose a layer. Let's say I choose the middle layer, and I wanted to see how it looks if it's in a different orientation. So, you can go to transform, rotate 180, and now it looks like that. Obviously, I don't think that looks good, but you can do something like that. Or let's say you think you have a little too much, cluster in one area. You can take your eraser, choose one of your layers. I don't know which one in this case, but we'll just choose 2 again. And you just delete and, see if you like how that looks. Erased a little too much there. So let's go back. I kind of like right here. Maybe a little down here. You don't want to overdo it. You can do it from different parts of layers if you want. That was bad. But we'll leave it at this. It's not necessarily perfect, but, it shows you what you can do. So if you're happy with that, you want to do black on white, you're done. If you want to change the colors, however, make sure you hit select. You can hit select on all 3 of these, with the shift select. Hold down one, hit shift, and then hit, the other 2. From there, you'll merge the layers. And from here, obviously, they're all no white on them. They're all just black, the black design. You can hit Control, click on the image in the layer, and now they're all highlighted. Now you can choose whatever color you want. Let's say you wanted a red one. So you select red. You've got that highlighted. You make sure you're on that layer. And now you can fill from the foreground color and hit OK. And there you go. You can do it with other colors. You can go to blue if you want. Same thing. Edit, fill, OK. And of course, you can go to your different, color settings if you want. Hue, saturations, vibrance, all that good stuff. You can, mess around with all that, see what you can get for different colors, different saturations of colors, lightnesses and brightness, all the different stuff you can mess with. I'm going to go ahead and put us back to a little bit darker blue. So then, if you're just wanting the texture, you've got that here, but you can also, if you want to make it really look like a notebook, you can go ahead and select the rectangle tool. It's over here. You may have it as the line tool or the custom shape tool, polygon tool, whatever you may have it as. You just want to make sure you go and select the rectangular tool, and you're going to put that right about in the middle. There's different ways you can center this. I'm not going to go into that right now. You can find other videos that show you how to do that. Probably already know how to do it. So from here, what I did was I made it white, and I added the stroke. If you're not familiar with how to use the rectangular tool, it's basically a shape that already has a stroke and a fill attached to it. I'm going to knock the stroke down to, let's say, 10 for the outside border. And I have my thing there so it's centered. That's pretty small. I'm going to make that bigger. Make it bigger with the transform if you've already set it. And then with a good thing with the rectangular tool is once you, even after you've resized it, if you click back on it, you can round the corners, which gives you a nice look with it. And then from there you can control select on the rectangles thing, and then you can modify the border or the selection, contract, and you probably, depending on the size, going to want to contract it quite a bit. I'm going to do 50 on this one. You can see where that puts you there. Then you can add another layer. From there, make sure you go back to black, edit, stroke, and now you've got a border here. And I'm going to go with about 5. I think that would look good on there. Deselect that. Now you can just type in there the name of whatever you want, This is the tutorial for making a composition book texture. I make no guarantees about my spelling on this, people, but yeah. Obviously, you'd be using a bigger size font than that, probably a fancier font, but this is just for a tutorial. So from there, if you were done, you could layer, flatten the image, and you're good to go. As I said, I use this mostly with like binder inserts, manuals I make for work. I'll make this, make it a little more fun for the people to see, since they're going to be reading some technical jargon that isn't really too interesting. But yeah, that's how you do a marble composition book texture. If you like this, go ahead and let me know, and I'll catch you later.